Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic day. And may peace be upon you. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Yes, I can, with your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. And today, I have a really special guest with you. She's launched. Today is a book launch day called Unlocking Your Super Life, Dr. Veronica Joseph. I've known her for some time. She's an incredible person. She is our go-to health practitioner. She treats, my husband, myself, my two kids, my baby. She's absolutely incredible. And I just wanted to celebrate her. And for her book launch, Unlocking Your Super Life is available on Amazon for only 99 cents just for today for the launch. So go and grab a copy. Veronica wants thousands of women to hear her message and have the best optimal life. So I wanted to welcome my client, my amazing friend, Dr. Veronica Joseph, who is a doctor of Oriental medicine. She is also a licensed acupuncturist, and of course, the number one international best-selling author. So Veronica, say hello.
Yay! Hey, hello everyone. It's good to be here. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much, Veronica, and congratulations on your book, Unlocking Your Super Life. A guide to a healthier and happier you is available on Amazon. Oh, where there you go, darling. So it's available on Amazon. Go and grab it. Veronica, I know that you've spent, a lot of time in coming together with this book. So first of all, tell everybody, share a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do.
Okay, a little bit about myself. I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine. I'm a diplomate of Oriental medicine through NCC-AOM, and I specialize with treating immune disorder, digestive issues, allergies, and pain. And, I just found out that I love to write the books. And that was like a self-discovery for me. So thank you for asking.
You're welcome. And she also specializes in women's health, right, Veronica? Because the
That's
majority
right.
of your clients are women.
Women. Yes.
And, to write a book, and I'm glad that you found that writing is one of your passion. And writing a book, it isn't easy because it's a lot of commitment. It takes time and energy. So what made you want to write this book?
Well, a lot of people are suffering due to
Mm-hmm.
different catastrophes, opioid epidemic, and Delta variant cases are now rising, and some ICU hospitals in some states are filling up. So I wrote this book to help empower people, to equip them with the tools that they can do to help themselves, to optimize their health, transform their life, and as well as inspire them that there's always hope.
Absolutely. So you mentioned something about giving them the tools for them to, as a structure, for them to implement in their own health. Now, here's the thing, right? Modern medicine, I'm all for modern medicine. I think we need to have both, right? Modern medicine and holistic medicine. But for people who have been exposed, certainly myself, on modern medicine, I'm not trained to have the tools to take care of myself, right? So when I go to see the doctor, typically this is what happens. I go and see my doctor. We have a discussion, and then I go off and take, whatever pain medication that's been prescribed. And that was like, I feel like the traditional modern medicine, mostly it is, I don't know, in England, they call it paracetamol. I forgot, Tylenol. So Tylenol, ibuprofen, that's usually antibiotics. So what do you mean by saying that you want to give people a tool that they can use to create their own health structure and then reset their health to optimal?
Okay, so there are several layers there. So in my book, I explored the connection between the physical the emotional or mental, and the spiritual. So on the
Mm-hmm.
physical level, I called it PES. P for prevention, E for enjoyment, and S for stillness. So for prevention, it is very important to prevent. Actually, prevention is more important than treating the disease. So with the
Mm-hmm.
prevention, you cultivate healthy eating habits, or healthy lifestyle, and that includes like exercise and eating healthy foods, sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours at night.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just an example. And in my book, I actually show them like the acupressure points that they can press to help increase their stamina and also enhance their immune system. So acupressure is actually based on acupuncture, which is a 3,000-year-old modality of Chinese medicine, and it works. And I've treated hundreds of people with acupuncture as well as the acupressure. So I usually tell them, okay, these are the points that you can use to reinforce the treatment, and that will be your self-care tool. So on the second level, we have the emotional and enjoyment. So it is actually good to find your passion and
Mm-hmm.
do what you love, because in Chinese medicine, the different organs is correlated to the different emotions. So for instance, if one is fearful, that will be affecting their kidney. And if one
Mm-hmm.
is always worrying a lot, then that
Mm-hmm.
will affect their digestion and so on. So that's just an example. And then for spiritual, stillness. So it's actually
Mm.
nice to incorporate in your lifestyle to learn how to meditate or to still your mind so that you'll develop your intuition. And once you develop your intuition, then you can make a wiser decision. So those are the three things that's very important.
That is absolutely wonderful, and I can share my experience with Veronica, because now Veronica, we're coming into winter, aren't we? The fall is going to the winter. Seasons are changing. A lot of things are changing, and winter statistics shows that a lot of people get sick on winter. Because I know, like a lot of moms and with young children, they keep on getting sick over and over and over again, which is can be a nightmare when you're a mom because it just completely drains you. Veronica, like, helped me and my family kind of like break through that vicious cycle pattern. Because there was a point when, oh my God, like everybody in the family except for me was in the healing space, and it was training on me as a mom to hold the fort. And Veronica taught a few things. One of it is the acupressure point. For those of you who don't know, acupressure, Veronica says it's like acupuncture, but acupuncture you have needles, right, Veronica? I mean,
Right.
you don't want to be poking on needles on yourself. You're not
That's
trained.
right. Yeah.
You're not trained. So acupressure is the points are similar to acupuncture, but you just hold the points.
That's
And
correct.
the tools that Veronica taught me and my children and my husband would still implement to today. So it's something that doable. But the thing is, Veronica, not many people are believer in that because we're so trained in modern medicine. Not many people are a believer in holistic healing or natural healing or 3,000 years old kind of modality. So, based on your book, what are the things that you can share to kind of like ease this preconception that people have?
Well, what I can suggest to people is try, you know, and see if it works for them. So if you cannot experience, so experience is very important. That's the only way you will know whether if it works for you or not. So if it doesn't work for you, then you can try some other modality. But if it works for you, then that's good. So that you don't miss that opportunity for healing.
Absolutely. And it's something that, it can be a strange thing if you haven't done it before, but the more you do it, the more comfortable and confident you become. Like I know the points. My son, Veronica taught him and I, and the whole family the points. My son now does it on his own. Like he has this little device that he does it every night as part of his routine. So, like a quick tip, Veronica, from your book, a lot of people are in healing mode, right? So, what's one acupressure point that they can kind of like do to kind of help boost their immune system? Because I know one of the points you taught me was this too. So I don't know if that's another a tip that you want to share, acupressure points, so that people who are watching today can just try it straight away and see how easy and simple it is.
Well, you know what? I wanted to share a story. I'm a storyteller.
Go ahead.
So actually, one of my patients is trying to conceive, right? So she
In
experienced
getting,
multiple miscarriage. And
oh, I'm
so
sorry to hear
I
that.
was able to help her get pregnant and, have a son, and as well as relieve her back pain. So after a few years, she asked me, how come my son, he's always pressing this point whenever he's distressed. He got this 3-year-old son, and I
Hmm.
reminded her, you know what? That was the point that I recommended to you when you were pregnant, and that's the point that helps you manage your stress, increase your immune system, promote relaxation, as well as relieve your lower back pain. And both of us laughed together because it was amazing that that particular information was transmitted into her womb, and is still
Mm,
remembered by her 3-year-old son. So this one really works so well because
this one.
this is like it resets your brain and your nervous system. So it's like a reboot button or reset button.
Mm.
That's what I call it.
That is so amazing, like from this point, kind of like helps to reset. And how long should I press it? Or how long should the women
So
press it? In like the whole day? Or is it like just
no,
a few seconds?
so actually, this is another thing, and I told them like after the treatment, usually like they needed to relax, right? Don't stress out. And I always tell them, just in case when you were driving and somebody cut you off, right? You can just press this for about 30 seconds to
Hmm.
1 minute. So that's how long it takes, 30 seconds to 1 minute, just to calm you down.
That is like I feel so calm now, like I just like press this button here, the reset, the calmness, the immune system, the relaxation, and it just settles the body. And if you want to find out more, go and check out Veronica's book, Unlocking Your Super. Veronica, can you show everybody your book? Unlocking Your Super Life. I'm going to put it in the links below after this. Unlocking Your Super Life available on Amazon. Go and grab it. It's a fantastic book. It's a tool that any mom should have in the pocketbook to know, when things you go through things as a mom, as a woman, there's practical tools in there that you can pick up and use straight away. So thank you for that, Veronica. And tell us what you've been practicing since 2009, so over 10 years now. So what can you share to be, one of the things that common things that you've picked up from treating women, and what are the lessons that you've learned from that?
Actually, during my experience, I noticed that all the disease is also related to emotions. And I work with women that have been abused.
Mhm.
And actually, we worked on releasing that emotions So it's not only on the, like I said, it's not only on the physical level, but also on the emotional and the spiritual. And once we release those emotions that were blocked, I mean, it kind of expedite the healing process. So it really helped a lot. So not only I work with acupuncture, but also I use the MoviePod allergy elimination techniques. I noticed that the food that they're eating can also be related to the problem that they are experiencing. So in that case, I do check what causes the problem, and I resolve the root cause of the problem to help with the symptoms so that the problem will not gonna go back. So once we resolve any allergen that causing the symptoms, I mean, that really helps a lot. So, and also I help them by programming the, the anything that can help, any supplements, or a lot of times they bring like a whole bag of supplements, and I have to check it out with um, applied kinesiology or muscle testing, and a lot of them are not safe or beneficial. So when I muscle test them, I'll check to make sure that whatever they are taking is safe with them, beneficial, as well as I put like the dose, like how many doses do they need, like 1 capsule 3 times a day, because when you combine them to go together, you have to make sure that they're getting the right dose. And
That's actually interesting because, like a lot of us are taking some supplements, right? And, just, off the counter on Amazon, what have you not. So if we don't know if it's safe and beneficial for us, then we could just literally be wasting our money
well, not
in
right.
purchasing those.
Not only that, the worst part, it can be toxic. So you're not only wasting your money, but you're putting poisons in your body, which is even worse.
Oh my God, that's absolutely crazy, knowing all this. And then I just want to quickly touch on what you said by saying that based on your experience, a lot of the diseases are emotional based. So, kind of
As
like
well as
how,
the allergies, like the food
uh,
that they're taking, because not necessarily, some people generally said if it is organic fruits or vegetables, they're all good for you, but a lot of people are allergic to vitamin K, which is pretty much like green leafy vegetables or even nuts, right?
hmm,
So if
yeah.
they think that it's good for them, but if not, then, so that's, again, it's causing them problem even with pain.
That's interesting. So then my question would be, just out of curiosity, how does emotional distress causes diseases? And then you mentioned that, how do you even, once you identify that emotional stress is causing the diseases, how do you even release it? Because emotion is not something you can see, right? Like, if you have a pimple or something, you can see it, then you can know what to do, how to treat a pimple. But so how do you like, it's just mind like pure, I'm so curious in how emotional stress can cause a disease. And then, I'm sure you talk about this in your book, but just give us an idea how emotional stress causes disease, and what's your one tip to kind of help start to releasing emotional stress?
Well, like I said, in the book, I revealed the connection between the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. So let me just give you an example. I have a new patient came in, and when I asked him, "How are you doing?" and he just said, "I'm here." So he was very
Mm.
stoic. It's like there's nothing there, right? And so in our first treatment, I checked the pulse, the tongue, and basically the tongue is like a microcosm of the whole body. Just looking at
Mm.
the tongue, I can already tell that there's an imbalance on his digestion. And then there's some emotional component. And when I check the pulse, that can confirm the diagnosis. And so when I went like check him deeper through the muscle testing, because I already know what I'm dealing with, right? But then
Right.
I can ask through muscle testing, I can communicate with his nervous system to find out what else is going on, right? Because when
Mm-hmm.
he um, saw me, he was experiencing a sciatica, which is like a pain radiating from the lower back to the side of his lateral left leg. And so when I checked through muscle testing, I found out that there's some emotional involvement. And I checked
Mm.
how old was he when that emotional um, situation started, and he
Right.
was 5 years old. So I was like digging deeper, right? Okay. And so and I asked him, you know, that there is what happened when you were 5 years old, because when I checked checked through muscle tests, I even checked deeper that the emotional involvement was anger. and
Mm-hmm.
and then I asked again, I asked his body, anger, is it anger involving a family? And I asked, it is the if it is, the mother. And
Right.
then the muscle test indicates that yes, it is the mother. So I told him, okay, this is what I found out, that
Mm-hmm.
there was anger, you were 5 years old, and it's like related to the mother. And then I asked him, so what happened when you were 5 years
Mm-hmm.
old?
Mm-hmm.
Was there any trauma? And he
Right.
told me that at that point, he and his brother was playing with fire, and accidentally the brother got burned, and his mother blamed him for that. So he was angry at himself. And so once
Mm-hmm.
we released that anger, guess what? The next time I saw him, he was like, he was beaming, right? Well, see, at first he said, I asked him, like, so was there any difference after the treatment last time? And he said, no, it's the same. And then I asked him, so because he was at that time, he had no appetite. So I asked him, so how was your appetite? And he said, like, oh yeah, that night, I was like eating, I was hungry, and my appetite was back. And then I asked him, so how was your lower back? And he was smiling. Oh yeah, that cleared up too. And I go, oh, okay. So you see the connection there? I mean, it
That is
is related
wonderful.
to
That
each
is
other.
absolutely, yeah, and it's absolutely interesting, isn't it? Because we've always been taught that things are separated, right? Body is body, mind is mind, soul is soul. But we forget, like, it's all like encompasses in one medium here.
Right,
And
right.
which is absolutely interesting. And if you wanted to find out more about Veronica's techniques and tools that you can do, that you can go and grab her book on Amazon, Unlocking Your Super Life, available on Amazon at a very, very special launch price today only at 99 cents. And I'll be putting on the details of her after this in the show notes below. So Veronica, just to wrap up, like you were before now as a doctor of Oriental medicine, you were a computer scientist before. And then something happened that made you completely flip to this profession. I mean, being a computer scientist is one thing, and this is a complete opposite tangent of what you've been trained for years. So, I mean, I would really appreciate if you can share what happened that made you flip the switch of doing all this, like, complete night and day transition.
I know. So there was a time in my life when I heard the agonizing cries of my infant son due to abdominal pain, with itchy skin on the legs, scaly patches on the scalp. I felt hopeless, helpless, and worthless. I could not help him. Western medicine protocol of eliminating allergen through diet elimination did not work. It's not enough. And it got worse
Mm.
when he was prescribed antibiotic. He developed hives and he got very sensitive in everything, food, detergent, chemicals, all kind of things. So it all came crashing down when I felt restless, worried, and I could not sleep. I could not
Mm.
tolerate the anguish. And I wish to die just to end the misery. And
Mm.
what turned it around for me was when, with my frustration with the Western medicine prompted me to seek alternative medicine. And after that, I found that the new Namubipad allergy elimination techniques and acupuncture help treat my son as well as my condition. So I changed my career from computer science to Oriental medicine. And now I'm passionate about helping women, resolve their digestive issues, immune disorder, women's issues. And I'm happy to empower them so they could optimize their health, transform their lives, and be their best version.
Absolutely. And have the optimal health, right, Veronica? Because
Right.
optimal health is not an illusion. It really isn't. Like Veronica, if you see her, she meets with a lot of people, don't you, Veronica? Like every day you meet with so many different people, but she has a really strong immune system, and her son now is in a such healthier place than he has ever been. Like, how old is your son now, Veronica?
So now he's 21 years old and he's studying in LA, taking finance. So he's healthy and he doesn't have
That's
to worry
it.
about allergies either.
That is absolutely incredible. And, Veronica has a really strong and powerful message to women out there that like your optimal health is not an illusion. Like your optimal health is absolutely possible. It's your health, your family's health, your children's health, your husband's health, even your pet's health. Okay, optimal health is available and absolutely possible. So, Veronica, coming to the end here, what would be your biggest piece of advice? I know you shared so many in our conversation, but what would be your one biggest piece of advice that you want women to know regarding their health, especially when they're suffering? They're sick so many times. They go for modern medicine. They're still not getting back to getting the result that they're wanting. They're getting sicker over and over again for years and years and years. What's your biggest advice, Veronica?
So my biggest advice is that you believe in yourself, that anything is possible, and love yourself, right? And self-care is an investment, it's not an expense. If you have a good healthy body, you have a wise mind. And love is the most powerful healing energy, and it vibrates in a very high frequency. So
That's
spread the
absolutely
love,
beautiful.
starting with yourself and with other people. And before I forget,
Absolutely.
the
Mm-hmm.
Unlocking Your Super Life, the proceeds go to Roadrunner Food Bank of New Mexico to help feed the hungry kids and adults. So I'm spreading the love. So I hope you guys too.
That is a wonderful cause. And like Veronica said, self care is an investment. It starts with you. And, loving yourself, allowing yourself to receive and give love is one of the best things that you can ever have. And Veronica, one last thing, what is one key action that any woman can take them to a step forward towards their healthier, happier, optimal life?
Well, practice gratitude every single day and maintain positivity, even like smiling and laughing. I mean, it can generate happy hormones and also increase and enhance your immune system. as easy as that. And make sure to drink water, at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a
That's
day.
right. With
Right.
Veronica's suggestions, I've bought myself this water bottle, yeah, for myself, for my kids, for my husband, so that because when you drink on glass, it's really hard to count, right? Because you lose count by number two.
Right.
So drink water, and what is it, 6 to 8 glasses a day,
At least, yeah. Also depending
at
on your
least.
size, your weight, and the temperature around you, and how, your activity. Because water, it nourishes your body, it detox your body, it does a lot of things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Veronica. Thank you for the interview. And I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation today with my guest, Dr. Veronica Joseph. Go and grab her book, Unlocking Your Super Life. I've personally read her book and I absolutely love it. And, it has so many incredible tools, like tools that you can implement yourself at home, right? Simple, easy things that you wouldn't think about, but it's actually really helpful and really beneficial when you do it. So, Veronica, one last word from you. What would that be?
Love.
Love, beautiful. And thank you so much for joining me today, Veronica. And thank you to everybody for listening to my podcast. Yes, I can. I will see you next episode with your host, Dr. Izziha Jamil. Tell yourself, yes, I can. And so it is done. Take care. May peace be upon
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for
Bye.
having me. Bye.